Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the 89th Annual Meeting of the Members of South Point Financial Credit Union. My name is Jeff Hogan, and I am the Marketing, Communications, and Social Media Specialist here at South Point, and it is my pleasure to serve you today as your meeting moderator. For all of you joining us here in person today, thank you for taking the time to be here. Your presence is what makes this event so special. A warm welcome as well to all of our members who are joining us virtually. We appreciate your participation and hope the online format allows for a smooth and informative experience. I'd like to extend a warm welcome to our staff present and those back in our offices, as well as the members of our Board of Directors, Supervisory Committee, and Community Advisory Committee who are present here today. Your dedication and leadership ensure the continued success of our credit union. We are fortunate to have several guest presenters joining us today. Mara Humphrey, President of the Minnesota Credit Union Network, our Board Chairman, Adam Seifert, and our President and CEO, Jay Gostonzik. We appreciate their time and look forward to hearing from them momentarily. After the presentation from Mara Humphrey, we will transition to our business meeting, which will be led by Adam Seifert, Chairman of the Board of Directors, and Jay Gostonzik, Chief Executive Officer. We have a lot to cover today, so without further ado, let's dive in. Our first speaker today is Mara Humphrey. Mara Humphrey is a seasoned financial services advocate with over 20 years of experience. As president and CEO of the Minnesota Credit Union Network, she is responsible for driving the growth and success of credit unions throughout the state. The Minnesota Credit Union Network supports Minnesota credit unions, serving over 2 million members across more than 400 locations. Before her current role, Humphrey served as the Chief Advocacy and Engagement Officer for the Minnesota Credit Union Network. She oversaw advocacy efforts, compliance, communications, and professional development in this capacity. Humphrey led key initiatives throughout her tenure, notably spearheading the creation of first-of-its-kind legislation that enabled financial institutions affected by data breaches to recover costs. He also led a coalition of financial institutions in the passage of legislation aimed at preventing the exploitation of older and vulnerable adults. Humphrey was pivotal in establishing the Minnesota Credit Union Women's Leadership Network, a sister society of the World Council of Credit Unions Global Women's Leadership Network. In addition to her professional achievements, Humphrey is an enthusiastic advocate for community involvement. She serves as president of the St. Paul Regional Board of Water Commissioners and previously held elected office on the Ramsey County Soil and Water Conservation District Board from 2008 to 2018. Humphrey's experience in financial advocacy, legislative innovation, and community service makes her a respected leader and resolute champion of financial well-being for individuals and communities alike. Please welcome Mara.
Well, good afternoon, South Point members. Great to have you here with us. Thank you for the invitation from South Point to come and join you here today for your 89th annual meeting. As he mentioned in the introduction, my name is Mara Humphrey. I'm the president and CEO of the Minnesota Credit Union Network, which is the champion for Minnesota credit unions and Minnesota credit union members. So excited to join you today and wanted to share a little bit about our history. We're honored this year to be celebrating 100 years of Minnesota credit unions. And I know you're in your 89th year, coming up on that 100-year mark. I think it's a great time to really reflect on the impact that credit unions have had here in Minnesota and the impact that we're going to continue to have into the future.
In the spring of 1925, in a modest office in Minneapolis, a small group of postal employees pooled their resources. With just $146.25, they planted the seeds of something extraordinary: Minnesota's first state-chartered credit union. It was a simple idea, but a powerful one. Financial services designed not for profit, but for people. From that humble beginning, Minnesota's credit unions have grown into a movement, now serving over 2.2 million members and stewarding more than $41 billion in assets. For a century, credit unions have been more than financial institutions. We've empowered generations of Minnesotans to achieve their dreams, whether it's buying a home, starting a business, or planning for a secure future. We are community builders, offering support to philanthropic partners and local businesses. We promote financial education, helping members make the right choices for themselves and their families. This year, as we look ahead to the next century, we do so with confidence. We will gather, share, and celebrate Minnesota's credit union history. We will actively collaborate with lawmakers. We will advocate for our communities. We will welcome new members. Because in Minnesota, credit unions will always be focused on one mission: people helping people. Join us today.
We're celebrating the anniversary of the first credit union starting here in Minnesota, but really using it as an opportunity to celebrate credit unions throughout the country and throughout the state. And blessed to be here with you as we're sharing that heritage. I think really what makes credit unions different and unique is that we're owned by our members. So thank you. I can tell by your commitment for showing up here today that you're committed to that membership, that ownership, and providing value that you get from your credit union. Because it's one member, one vote, your board of directors directly represents you and your interests, and that's why you're able to show up today and be part of that process, be part of electing them, and being part of a say in how your credit union operates. One of the critical pieces that make credit unions unique is that reflection that we are cooperatively owned, and so we are able to operate on a not-for-profit basis and return that to our members. Dividends are paid to those members and not stockholders, and that's a unique difference that we're continuing to fight for on behalf of credit unions. So this is a picture from the first credit union. Moving on. Credit unions really started to take off after the Federal Credit Union Act in 1934 took hold. Several sprung up in Minnesota, then they started to spread across the country more and more, including SouthPoint Financial. That gave that impetus of people wanting to help support their own communities. And it's amazing when you look at the different types of credit unions that have started from different groups and different charters. They're all over the place. I spent the weekend joining the Latvian credit union in Minneapolis, and they started from a group of Latvians who were refugees, came over, settled in Minneapolis, and still actually half their annual meeting is in Latvian. So hopefully you can understand more of what I'm saying here, but it's that unique culture that they bring that they're able to celebrate and help support each other. Likewise, supporting your communities here in Minnesota. As you know, SouthPoint is a great champion, and we're excited to partner with them. And they're one of our great members. I'll talk a little bit more about that, but I think really as being a member is investing in yourself here at SouthPoint, and you're taking the first steps to come to the annual meeting, help support your board of directors, and help support your community and making sure that you're helping support each other. So the Minnesota Credit Union Network, we help support and we're those strong advocates for credit unions across the state, but also for credit union members across the state, and partner very closely with our 86 credit unions here in the state and over 2 million members. We know credit unions started to get some calls after there were rumors that DOJ was looking into accessing treasury accounts. There's been a couple things that have popped up over the past couple months where we've been hearing concerns from members about member security or whether it's fraud. That's been a huge topic. Wanting to make sure we can help keep credit union members safe and secure. And so honored to partner with credit unions across the state on advocating for their members, making sure that we can help protect you and look out for you. So I hope you know Beyond SouthPoint, who does a terrific job of advocating for you, there's several more layers that are really looking out for credit union members all across the state and across the country. So as we're looking at the credit union industry and where we're headed, I did want to share this for you. This is Obviously, there's been a lot of consolidation. You hear about consolidation. In the meantime, we've seen credit union assets continue to blossom. We're at over $40 billion. The growth of credit unions and people coming to credit unions has been immense, that we've been seeing that intense growth, as well as continued steady growth in credit union membership. As we're looking ahead, that credit union model still resonates, which is really neat. We just had two new credit unions started in Minneapolis last year. New charters looking at serving their own community. As we're looking ahead to credit unions, I do want to say some of the things that make me very optimistic as we're looking at the next 100 years or next 89 years is looking at that opportunity for credit unions to be disruptors. Credit unions, because their board of directors is made up of their members, are very locally and acutely in touch with the needs of the members, and it allows them to make strategic decisions that may be different than a traditional business that's based on profit. Make bets that are not necessarily, they don't know if they're going to make money or not, but they know that they will do the best for their community and their members. Credit unions can also really be that source of financial empowerment. And I think as we're looking at the financial services landscape, that is where credit unions are uniquely positioned, is that ability to financially empower their members and give you the tools. Any loan or account or member transaction is not viewed as a one-on transaction. Credit unions really want to be that lifetime partner in everything that you do. And it's been really fun as credit unions have been looking at new and fun ways heading into the future and how it can help support members' future needs, as well as credit unions partner together. And you may not realize that as a credit union member, but credit unions across the state, credit unions across the country partner together. It's that collaboration that you don't see happening in other industries that allows us to help support each other, help grow, help be better, and help learn from each other. So I do want to go back to a little bit about the network and wanted to give a big thank you to Jay, who is on the board of directors for the Minnesota Credit Union Network. Our organization is governed similar to a credit union. All of our members are elected by our members. They get a chance to vote for our board of directors. So it's great to have Jay's leadership on that, as well as he's been on several state and national committees, providing insight and leadership, helping guide us as an industry as we move forward. So one of the things that I did want to make sure I highlighted, and I'm looking for your support here. We are really concerned that in this Congress, there is going to be a threat to the credit union tax status. And as we know, that is really one of the big differentiators that allows credit unions to invest back in their members. So asking you to help support us by taking action. Any tax on a credit union will end up ultimately being paid by credit union members. So I wanted you to be aware of this. Wanted to ask you to help us take action. I know Michelle's standing in the back there. She has postcards you can sign to help us out with the effort, as well as sign up for GREAT. GREAT is a nice opportunity. It's always tough to say great is great, but GREAT is a nice opportunity that you can stay in touch with us, find out about the things that are happening that may impact credit union members. Another thing that we are really happy to be collaboratively working with SouthPoint Credit Union on is Medicare advisors, and really excited to be able to offer this to credit union members. It's something that we are doing on a statewide level. We know that oftentimes Medicare can be confusing. Credit union members don't always know what to do, and wanted to provide the best expertise that we could and provide every single plan option. So you're not just walking into a broker who only offers one. We can compare and help get you the best choice. And appreciate that commitment from SouthPoint to help partner with us on this. We're really excited. On average, we've saved credit union members $900 a year, which really adds up. We're almost to $500,000 in savings from credit union members across the state and continuing to grow. So if you're at that age, you're interested, you want to find out more, please feel free to reach out to us. We're happy to help connect you. I think it's just another way that credit unions are working on not only just providing what a traditional credit union would, which is, place to deposit your money, a place to write checks, a loan, business loan, but also looking at other ways that we can financially help support credit union members. And I give South Point a lot of credit for really looking at other options. I'm sure there's more, and I'll let them talk about them, that are additional ways that they've invested to help provide value to their members. So with that, here's some ways you can stay connected, stay updated on the broader credit union community. Encourage you to keep tabs with us, connect with us. Michelle will be in the back if you want to sign up for grade and sign a postcard. We really appreciate your support there. But want to just wrap up by saying congratulations, 89 years, that's huge, that's tremendous. You should be really proud of the credit union that you're a member of. I say I love all 86 Minnesota credit unions, but have tremendous respect for the forward thinking that South Point, both their executive team and their board has taken in terms of how do we continue to evolve to best serve our members. So with that, congratulations.
Thank you, Mara, for sharing the history of Minnesota credit unions and the good work being done by credit unions across the state. We will now begin our business meeting, and I'd like to call Board Chairman Adam Seifert to the podium to call the meeting to order.
Thank you, Jeff. I want to welcome members to the South Point Financial Credit Union Annual Meeting. Today's business meeting will also be live streamed so that members are able to attend virtually. A note before we get started. Following the business meeting, we will draw for prizes by random draw from the ticket you received in person when you arrived. I would like now to call the 89th annual meeting to order. Pursuant to our bylaws, proof of notice was published in the 12/31/2024 year-end statement. Notices were posted in each branch office on March 12th, 2025, 35 days prior to the meeting. The notices included the date, time, and location of the annual meeting. South Point's bylaws specify that we need a quorum to conduct our annual meeting. Moderator and Mr. Secretary, based on the number of attendees, can you assert that a quorum is present? Thank you. We'll move on to the approval of the minutes. The minutes from the 88th annual meeting held on April 16th, 2024 are included in your packet and are available on our registration website. Bylaws require that those minutes be read unless there is an approval to waive the reading of those minutes. I would entertain a motion to dispense with the reading of the minutes and accept the previous annual meeting minutes as presented. Can you please state your name? In a second.
John Lupke.
Sounds good. All in favor, say yes. All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Now a message from the Board of Directors. Good afternoon. It is my honor to share a few reflections on the past year here at South Point. This past year has been a busy and important one. The board, alongside the management team, continued with strategic growth initiatives to ensure we continued to sustainably provide you with competitive products and services to empower you to enhance lives. We work together with one unified goal: to lead South Point in a direction that serves the best interests of our members. As your board, it is our responsibility to ensure South Point remains a strong, stable, and forward-thinking financial institution, not just today, but well into the future. While accomplishing much, we had a number of priorities. The first top priority continues to be financial strength. As Jay will detail in his report, South Point is on a solid financial footing. We're well positioned to navigate the current and volatile economic cycle. The credit union is well capitalized, has excellent credit quality, and continues to make strategic investments that will help keep us financially sound in the future. This strength is made possible by the ongoing loyalty, trust, and commitment of you, our members. Another key focus this year has been growth. Thanks to the trust and loyalty of our members, in 2024, we had strong growth in membership, loans, and deposits. That growth must be thoughtful and well managed. To ensure sustainability, it also requires continued investment in expanding our reach and our people. This past year, SouthPoint opened its doors on its 8th branch location in Buffalo, Minnesota. We are committed to continuing to grow SouthPoint to support its members as best as we can and to support the professional growth of our staff. Our last major priority was enhancing member service. A major milestone was changing our core system in 2022. This provided the foundation to modernize and improve the member experience. Building on that momentum, one example was the ability to introduce new interactive teller machines, otherwise known as ITMs, at the Buffalo branch. These machines offer members expanded service options and greater convenience. We also made improvements in prioritizing data security, efficiency, and cost optimization, outreach with ongoing member surveys, and efficiencies in robotic process automation. As I close, I want to extend my heartfelt thanks to our management and staff. Thank you for your incredible work, dedication, and commitment to SouthPoint. To my fellow board members, thank you for your service and your leadership. To the Supervisory Committee and Community Advisory Committee, thank you for the important role that you play as well. And most of all, thank you to our members. Your continued support is the reason SouthPoint is so strong today and why we're excited for the future. Thank you. The Supervisory Committee report is included in the annual report that is included in your program and posted on our website as well. On behalf of the board, we want to thank the Supervisory Committee for the work they do as an independent voice for the membership. I would now like to introduce Jay Gostanzik, our CEO.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Mara, I don't know Latvian, so we won't speak Latvian today. My grandfather knew German, but that didn't transcend. But welcome everybody. I'm so glad you could join us for the 89th annual meeting of SouthPoint Financial Credit Union. It's a sincere honor and privilege for me to stand in front of you and to share with you a little bit about 2024 and also 2025 and what we are looking forward to. You know, today's theme of this meeting is honoring our journey and empowering our future. You heard a little bit from Mara about the history of credit unions. You'll hear a little bit about the last year from our performance as a credit union, and also a little bit more about the future for your credit union. In today's annual meeting, I'd like to revisit the highlights in the performance and discuss what lies ahead and some new and exciting things for the credit union that you as members will get to see in the coming year. So let's take a look at a video and just kind of recap what we did in the last year.
So SouthPoint has empowered our business by being a quick partner in getting vehicle loans. So we've purchased a couple of vehicles for our farm business, heavy trucks to haul equipment, and SouthPoint was able to get those auto loans put together very quickly, which was helpful for us.
It's just a very personable experience at SouthPoint, and they always answer your questions in a very timely and fast fashion.
I think really just the personalization, the friendliness, almost like a family type thing has really been what's been the greatest about banking at SouthPoint.
I'm a new member and I'm very pleased so far with SouthPoint. It's very conveniently located and I'm happy to have a locally based credit union.
Friendly service. If I have a question, the staff either have an answer or they will get the answer for me.
Friendly people, great financial products, they're always helpful.
Video, you can see that we're actively committed to our communities, actively committed to giving back. I just love to see the smiling faces in all the pictures and videos that you saw, because that's your team serving you and making an impact in our communities. And you know, a special thank you goes out to Max and our marketing team for putting that video together, but then also putting this day together. We always look forward to this day to be able to share with you and celebrate on what your credit union is doing. So our journey began 89 years ago. That's a long time ago, back in 1936. And it started with a simple yet powerful purpose: to promote thrift and to help our neighbors in need. And, you know, back in 1936, if you wanted to get a loan, did you know that it cost 35 to 40% interest? At the time, there was over 20% unemployment. There was 1 in 4 people that were unemployed. And so fast forward to today, to from those humble beginnings with just 15 members starting this credit union to helping each other, we've now grown to over 33,000 members across 8 branch locations. And today we're honoring our past through an enhanced vision. So it's empowering people to enhance their lives. This vision really truly is the driving force behind what we do every single day. This vision also promotes growth, and our growth is a testament to our unwavering commitment to our members in our communities that we serve. Over the years, we've celebrated a lot of milestones, and this is just a small number of those milestones. But for example, in 1965, we expanded our field of membership to include Catholic parishes in Brown County. By 2008, our membership had grown significantly, and we continued to expand our reach. In 2024, as you've heard, we opened the Buffalo branch, and as you saw in that video, and we surpassed the milestone last year of 30,000 members. Yet today, this month, we actually surpassed 33,000 members. Significant growth, and that all was from our members, the loyalty and the value that was produced for them and their commitment and trust to their credit union. So just a few highlights from 2024. As mentioned, we surpassed that 30,000 mark and we're at 33 today. We granted over $100 million in loans. We increased, this is a big one for the savers in the room. We increased interest payments to members by 50%. Interest rates definitely rose and the savers were rewarded. So to over $11 million. You heard from Adam, we maintained a strong capital position with a 10.83% net worth ratio. Opened our 8th branch location in Buffalo, and we'll be hosting our grand opening in June. So the week of June 2nd, we'll be having activities and events to celebrate in that community. And on June 5th, we'll actually have an event from 4 to 7 o'clock I'm sure there'll be bouncy houses and face painting and lots of fun and excitement. So please, if you can, join us there and celebrate with us. We also added the ITMs, as Adam had mentioned, which is a new fancy way in order to provide service. You can do pretty much anything at an ITM that you can do in person, or you can ask to do business in person as well. We continued our support and commitment to financial wellness in our communities, hosting 12 South Point Budget City events, over 770 students. And already this year, in Buffalo this year, we will be hosting over 400 students just in one event alone. So great contributions to our community, very welcomed by the Buffalo community. And I know Bob in the back there is excited for that event. Our staff and members joined together to raise over $17,000 through the Chain of Hearts Credit Unions for Kids campaign benefiting Gillette's Children's Hospitals. Our foundation also raised $18,000 in our third annual foundation event and awarded $24,000 in scholarships and grants to students and nonprofit organizations. We added a trusted resource, as Mara mentioned, working with the network on providing Medicare plans through TrueLink Medicare Advisors. And I encourage you all, even if you already have a plan and you're on a plan, to compare that plan. Reach out to the advisors. It doesn't cost you anything to be able to make sure that you're on the right plan. Because as Mara had mentioned, you may have talked to somebody that put you into a plan because that was one of maybe two options that they offered. But we will shop all 7 or 8, maybe it's 8 now, different providers and make sure that you're in the right plan. And finally, while it isn't the reason for our work, but we receive numerous rewards and recognition. So with exceptional people, a strong financial position, and a focused strategic vision, we had an exceptional year based upon delivering value, enhancing service, and ensuring every member has the tools to achieve financial success. As Adam shared, the financial strength remains a top priority for us as we continue to grow. To help illustrate this, I'll focus on 3 main things to cover with you: growth, asset quality, and earnings. On some of the following slides, you're going to see that SouthPoint is generally compared to peers. And just to help you, peers, as defined by our regulator, the National Credit Union Administration, is credit unions generally about the same size of assets. And we fall into the category of credit unions 500 million to $1 billion in assets. So we're just over $500 million. So we're on the lower end of the scale. So generally, we're going to be comparing ourselves to much larger credit unions. Our priority on growth takes many forms within the credit union. Some structural, like technology, staff development, additions of products and services, and service and delivery channels, while others are membership growth, loan growth, asset growth, deposit growth. Today, I'm going to focus on these. So first, membership. Members are our purpose. You are our reason for being. You are why we exist and why we do what we do. You pay our salaries, and we share that with our staff every day. You're our family member. We serve you as a family member. A committed focus on membership growth ensures that we remain competitive and sustainable. Our membership growth has been impressive. There's a steady increase from just over 26,000 members in 2020 to over 32,000 members in 2024. Significant growth rate, and most credit unions cannot say the same. The average credit union grows at a clip of about 2%. In this slide in comparison, you can see the peers is the green line, or yellow, or depending on your vantage point, but it's about an average of 2%. Your credit union has averaged in the past over 10% membership growth. Now, the last few years has been a challenge for us, specifically in 2022, when we converted our core system, and that was just simply cleaning up our information on our system. But in the last few years, 7.4% in 2023 and then 4.3% this last year. Now, the main reason this last year we were down a little bit from historical numbers is because 70% of new members come from 70% of members who need loans are the new members that come to the credit union. So generally, we're not bringing in new members via deposit accounts. Generally, we're bringing them in because they have a need for loans. And so interest rates, because of the fact that they have risen, there's been less loan demand in the past few years. This slide represents an overall high-level overview of loans, deposits, and assets growth over the past 5 years. In 2024 alone, we grew nearly $50 million in assets and over $140 million from 2020. In addition, loans and deposits have both grown over $100 million from 2020. This substantial growth really reflects our ability to meet the borrowing needs of our members and strong asset quality while providing strong value propositions to the depositors. With such strong growth over the years in loans, let's take a look at asset quality and make sure that the loans that we're putting on the balance sheet are good. Maintaining high asset quality is crucial for our financial stability. A significant portion of our assets are held in loans, which compared to other assets, they're typically the highest earning asset for SouthPoint. This ratio here at 0.13% represents how well our balance sheet is optimized, and a higher ratio is generally worse. So in the grand scheme of things, in comparison to our peers, we're at 0.13%. This is in the top 90th percentile for all credit unions across the country. So we are doing extremely well from an asset quality standpoint because our members are loyal to the credit union, our members pay the credit union. The net charge-off ratio is actual losses in relation to the balances of loans held by the credit union. This is really one of the most impressive metrics, standing at just 0.2%, compared to the peer average of 0.59%. We don't take a lot of losses on the loans that we generate. So we've been successful in managing that credit risk and maintaining good quality loans in our loan portfolio. This reflects our diligent efforts in underwriting and monitoring our loans and ensuring that members are well supported in their financial journey. Unlike our bank counterparts, we can't just issue shares of stock, sell stock in order to raise capital. We must earn it over time by members participating in the credit union and growing equity. Earnings are simply the amount of money we retain after deducting our costs from gross income to ensure the credit union's financial stability. Our net interest margin, it's measured by the difference between our interest income generated and the amount of interest paid out. It has remained stable at 2.46% in 2024. This result is certainly much lower than our peers, which demonstrates that we give back to our members in the form of lower rates on loans and higher deposit rates and lower fees. This past year, we've also increased deposit rates and have been rewarding our savers. Non-interest income, which includes fees and other income sources like originating fees, has been steady at 1.12% of assets. This is very comparable to our peers, but it also indicates that we're effectively diversifying our income streams. The operating expense ratio is a measure of how well the credit union is managing its expenses. Last year, as interest rates rose, so did operating expenses for us and for our peers, as you can see by the chart. Operating expenses have been well managed, standing at 3.21% in 2024. While this is slightly below the peer, it showcases our efficiency in managing operational costs. Return on assets is a ratio that demonstrates the credit union's profitability and how efficiently the credit union assets are being managed. Essentially, how we utilize our assets to generate income. The quick rise in interest rates over the past few years and corresponding rise in deposit rates to members have resulted in lower earnings. So as you've seen, we've been fairly comparable to our peers over the years, but primarily because we have a lot of mortgage loans. And as mortgage rates rose dramatically, the amount of mortgage volume that we did declined in the past few years. And our credit union does a great job with real estate lending. So we have some reliance upon real estate. So that's the reason why you've seen a decline in some of our return on assets. And finally, our return on asset ratio. It's a ratio that demonstrates the credit union's profitability and how efficiently the credit union's assets are being managed. Essentially, how we utilize those I'm sorry, I skipped a slide. Our net worth ratio. So our net worth ratio, a well-capitalized credit union is a credit union that has 7% capital or more. We're at 10% capital. Over the years, we've been higher in years past, but we're also making investments in growth. Those investments in growth help bring value back to the credit union, and we are very similar to our peers at 10.83%, with our peers being at 11%. All right, now about 2025. What are we doing this year? Our business plan this year outlines initiatives that drive our growth and enhance our member experience. With the volatility in the current market, we're going to continue to be focused on growth while maintaining our financial strength. We'll also continue to focus on growing memberships, trying to achieve our goal of 40,000 members. Already in 2025, we've expanded our field of membership to include 7 new counties. That includes Chippewa, Lackapaw, Yellow Medicine, Stearns, Sherburne, Dakota, and Goodhue counties. We are now serving the greater part of southern Minnesota and bringing value to those members and also bringing value back to our existing members to ensure sustainability. To become future ready, we're also transforming this member experience with digital technologies that will enable our members to conduct business anywhere, anytime, and increase their access and also decrease the friction involved in opening an account. We expect to introduce this year new digital investing options that sit behind online banking and allow you to be able to conduct securities trades, cryptocurrency trades, and robo-advising. We will also increase the ability to be able to open an account within 5 minutes or less. So if you walked into a branch today to open a new account, it could take you anywhere from 30 to 45 minutes. We are on the path of being able to do that within 5 minutes. We're also going to provide direct or access to your direct deposited funds potentially 2 days early. So we're trying to become more future ready, trying to meet the needs of today's younger demographic as well, who expect immediate gratification, which is a hard challenge to overcome. But we are focused on ensuring that we are providing value back to all of our members. Growth in the credit union also provides the necessity for continuous learning and developing our people. In the coming years, we're going to have a few key roles that we're going to need to fill, and we're continuing to be focused on succession planning and our talent and growing our talent within the organization. Lastly, and this is what you were waiting for. Lastly, the hyper-competitive financial industry results in lower spread between loans and deposits. We're going to continue to focus on our members, providing our members with access to additional services that also provide additional revenue sources for the credit union. Currently, insurance offerings, property and casualty insurance, We offer Medicare now are just some examples, and we're continuing to explore other products and services that add value to members and also improve the ability for the credit union to make revenue. Finally, what was presented today was really just an overview. I could go on for hours, as our staff knows, about all the things that we've done in the last year and what we're focused on this year. But I'd like to express my heartfelt gratitude to our staff, our volunteer board of directors, supervisory committee, community advisory committee that all help provide strategic direction to the leadership team and to our credit union staff to be able to serve you and fulfill our mission and purpose. On the following slides, I'm going to show pictures of those volunteers that help drive that strategy, combined with the management team, the leadership team, and staff. They're all working hard on your behalf in order to be committed and providing you value. And finally, of course, thank you to you, our members, for being here. Your commitment to being here and being interested in your credit union is truly heartfelt, and I appreciate the fact that you are involved. Your continued trust and support continue to honor our journey, empower our future, and build a stronger and prosperous financial institution for all. Mr. Chair, that concludes my report.
Thank you, Jay. At this time, there is no unfinished business. We'll move on to new business. In accordance with the credit union's bylaws, the nominating committee has nominated the following candidates for the terms that expire at the annual meeting. Bob Weiss for a 3-year term, Jerry Forster for a 3-year term, and Tammy Helgett for a 3-year term. Pursuant to the credit union bylaws, these candidates, along with their biographies, were published to the membership via the December 31, 2024 member account statements. The statement inserts also included information on how members can be nominated by petition. The deadline for nomination by petition was February 2nd, 2025 at 5 p.m. As no members petitioned to be added to the ballot, and the number of nominees equals the number of positions to be filled, the bylaws authorize the declaration of each nominee elected by general consent. Bylaw revision. Pursuant to the credit union bylaws, in 2025, the board of directors has performed one bylaw amendment since the last annual meeting and is required to report any amendments to the members at the next annual meeting. The amendment included adopting a new field of membership to reflect 30 counties and patrons of the South Point Foundation. After approval by the board, an application was submitted and approved by the Minnesota Department of Commerce. That concludes the new business. All business reports and activities of the 89th annual meeting have been completed. I would entertain a motion to adjourn the business meeting. Richard Smith has a first and Jim Hansen has a second. All in favor, say aye. Motion carries.